guys for watching another episode of UGEY's Conversation Elevation. Also, Pivot Radio with your host, Eugenia Yvette. And today, my special guest is Miss Jessica Sorensen. I met this young lady probably about a year ago, maybe. About a year ago. And the energy was so amazing. She made me feel amazing because she was like saying she liked my spirit, my energy. And I'm like, okay, yes, back and forth. And I gave her my card and she contacted me. And I'm like, whoa, right? So usually when you give people your cards, they don't get back with you. They just take your card and be like, okay, yeah. But she followed through when she reached out to me and she invited me actually to a workshop. You had a workshop going on for coaches, and she invited me to the coach. But anyway, I'm gonna let her tell you guys who she is. Who in the world is Coach Jessica Sorensen? All right, talk about it, girl. What do you do?
Hi, everybody. So primarily, I'm a coach to help people increase their fulfillment and abundance in their life. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants more money. And I mostly do this through energy work. I teach you how to raise your own vibration so that you can live the life that you want to live. And during our sessions, when we work together, I'm also usually doing energy work, energy healing to raise you. And there's nothing that you need to do for energy healing. You just feel the good benefits or the good vibrations.
Awesome, sauce. I love it because I am getting my master's as a Reiki master, right? So I think that's how we kind of talk, right? And all Reiki master is, people's like, what is Reiki? Reiki. You know, everyone tomato, how, you know, where you're from, how you say it, right? You're from California, so you probably say it different. How do you say it, Reiki?
Reiki.
Some people say Reiki. I'm like, okay, whatever. But all that is healing energy, cleansing the energy, right? So we're doing the same exact thing. And then for the religious individuals, we say it's just like praying for somebody. You know, like when you're praying for someone and you're getting all the negativity gone, the toxicity, right? So I am excited because I have you and your beautiful self on here to talk about how you help individuals, right, raise their own vibrations. And that's so important because we're living in a time where you have to constantly check yourself and clear yourself, right? And I have a thing called Take Time for 10 to reset, regroup, restart, reflect, and redefine. And that's so important because sometimes you get so caught up with life that you have to just stop, right? So talk to us about that. So you're perfect for the show because we're all about elevating people's minds, hearts, spirits, and souls because there's no need of us, right? Being successful financially on the outside, successfully, shapely on the outside, but our insides are just tormented, right?
Right. Yeah.
Come on, let's have that conversation, girl.
Well, yeah. So when that's happening, when someone is financially successful, but they're like turmoil on the inside, that's actually a coping mechanism that they're chasing money to get away from what's inside.
Talk about it. That's right. No, I'm just like, yeah. My thing, I may say some crazy words like talk about it, say that because what you're saying is so true. And people don't understand that a lot of times, even people they over exceed and over excel, they're doing that to prevent from dealing with the inner man, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that, Coach Jessica Sorensen?
Yeah. So that's actually what attracted me to this work. I was already energetically sensitive my whole life. So navigating that, learning like what the differences were was a challenge and an amazing journey. But then I got into money, and money for most people, that's what abundance is, not for everybody.
Right.
So money is so interesting because a very large amount of people are wealthy because they're running away. So, you know, workaholics and, oh my God, did you see the stock prices went up? And, you know, the the addiction piece there. And
Right.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you want to raise your life to a new height, then the next step would be to deal with, turn inside. And it's not to say give the money away. No.
Right.
But just adjust your focus a little bit. And so that is my approach to helping people become wealthy the way that they want, is by turning to the inside in the first place.
Awesome.
And then we undo these, blocks or knots or unconscious habits. So a lot of what I do is energy work and dealing with the unconscious. And when you work with somebody, they can be your mirror, and then you're able to see your unconscious much easier. It's very, very hard to see your unconscious alone.
That is so true and so awesome. I think my one of my oldest sons, Stephen, he had the opportunity to interact, talk with him for a brief moment. And one thing he would say, we have these deep conversations, and he'll say, "Mom, don't take that offensive, because even though I do emotional wellness, and I always working on me, because constantly it's a journey, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And once you keep going, it's a constant thing. As long as you're living, you got to keep working, right?" And I'll get offended by something. He'll say, "Mom, don't let what they're saying offend you, because that negativity that they're throwing at you is a reflection of them." And I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, even though I deal with emotional wellness, sometimes you forget, because you're human, you forget that, hey, they're having some things they're battling with. And maybe what they're thinking that they're ragging on you about is really something that they're really having a difficult time within themselves. Mm-hmm. So we do that reflective work, that mirror stuff.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Is there a time that you can think of that you want to share, and we can pull that apart and undo that energy?
Okay, let's see. I can think of a lot of stuff. You mean so some kind of, maybe a situation where it wasn't really that positive, and
that you want to share?
Girl, I have so many things. I'm like, what? I don't mind. I'm very transparent. I don't have a problem with sharing stuff, right? So I have to actually think of. Now it's like I'm on the spot. Think of something. Give me a few moments to think about it. Let's talk about something else while I think about it, because I'm trying to think of some scenarios.
So I'll share a moment for myself.
Okay.
I was working, and this guy, I had seen him at my job a couple times. And so I recognized him, and I was like, oh, this guy again. Oh, I labeled him. And he looked like okay, right now I'm feeling embarrassed for my judgment of him, but.
Okay. Well, this is a safe place. No judgment here. So we all are growing, right? We're all learning, growing, and evolving. You're just sharing a vulnerable moment that said, hey, I realized there was something wrong with me, I think, right? But I had to recognize that I was prejudging something without really knowing. Is that what you're pretty much saying, right?
Yeah. So
don't be embarrassed.
So I judged him for just being that out of touch, superficial, rich type, too much money. I'm embarrassed for my judgment of him right now. But so I labeled him, and I was like, oh, not this guy again. He expects everything to be catered to him, and annoying. And at the end of my shift, he came up to me and he's like, thank you so much. You have always, and okay, so I'm always very nice to people, regardless of my judgment, regardless of what I think. I still treat everybody the same.
Right.
When I'm working, this is at a previous job. So he comes up to me at the end of my shift, and he said, thank you so much. You've always been so great. I've been here a couple times, and every time you're so nice and compassionate. And I keep coming here when I see my mom who's dying, and I just want to thank you because you have been so great. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And so that, well, one, that taught me really, you cannot judge. Like, just you are in the wrong to judge. You were holding yourself back from an amazing experience that I am so blessed to have been proved wrong in that moment. But so the mirror piece that I want to share, what was happening is how I'm sure that lots of other people judge me. And, oh, what do you know?
Right.
You expect everybody to be catered to you all the time. And so that thought that I labeled him as, other people have labeled me as.
Wow.
And so when that experience happened of how I witnessed how it feels to judge other people, and then remembering the judgment, the exact same judgment,
right,
on me, something dissolved that day. And
wow.
I have never judged somebody for that exact same thing again.
That's awesome. And I guess when I'm listening, I'm thinking it's kind of difficult for me because I think I have other issues, right? Like, judgment is not a thing. I think the way I was raised, I'm always being too understanding, right? Like, I'm always looking at the very optimistic. So my more so is when people come at me, I have a problem. I want to defend myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you come to me and be like, yeah, it's like, oh no, it's not like that. Oh no, and sometimes you have to just be quiet. And that's why some of my son said, Mom, sometimes this is a reflection of them, what they're dealing with. And if you just shut your mouth, he didn't say it like that, but he was like, pretty much if you just be quiet, right?
Yeah.
And let them have that, then it'll boomerang back to them.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to see that they're in error. But when you open your mouth and try to defend yourself, then you prevent them from learning. Yeah. And then you get into a negative space. So that's what my thing is. My thing is, I'm always trying to prove that, hey, I'm not that bad person. Hey, it ain't what you think it is. Hey, I don't talk too much. Hey, so that's where my thing comes in, like that. So yeah, you get what I'm saying now? You got it?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So your son is very impressive. So I think he sounds like he's a master of non-resistance, which is amazing. So when you talk back or put them in their place, or, those kind of reactive behaviors that a lot of us do when someone does something we don't like, you're putting up a brick wall. But what you're doing is you put up the brick, they sent the energy to you, you put up that brick wall, and then it keeps bouncing from the brick wall back to you. So you think that you're teaching them a lesson, but actually you're trapping the negative energy. So it keeps, so it's, let's see. No, I don't.
Yeah, I see. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it keeps so that's what you're doing. And so that's what that man taught me is, and then so ever since I guess experienced that, it integrated. And then I don't remember a time that people said, oh, you think everybody's catering to you, or if they do, I don't care, I'm not upset about it. Whereas before I would get upset and I would need to prove them wrong, and I work hard and no I don't, and now when someone says that, I'm like, okay, you're wrong. It's okay. But
and that's what you're saying, because you were able to identify and realize that you were doing him the same way people were doing you. That was able to just dissolve, right? You were able to move beyond that. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And that's exactly what your son is doing. So that was a moment of teaching for myself. And so that let go of my resistance.
Yeah.
So it was, I'm still grateful for that moment.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people don't understand that energy work and, the whole thing of self-care, because energy work is self-care. You know,
Right.
we talk about the self-care, and as women, we talk about getting your nails done, your feet done, spa day, pamper day, and that's great stuff. But the best self-care is starting within.
Mm-hmm.
I do emotional wellness. Sometimes they call me the emotional wellness expert. I'm not an expert at all, but I do want to help individuals heal from childhood trauma, heal from bad experiences from the very beginning of the foundation. Like when I do my courses, I say, hey, I give them the worksheet to fill out. And I say, let's talk about their first homework is talk about your very first day on the earth. I
Wow.
may say, think about when you first came out of the womb. Like, because once we're in the womb,
Mm-hmm.
we're getting stuff fed to us constantly,
Mm-hmm.
and then as we come out the womb, we're constantly getting stuff fed to us. And it's funny because even whenever time I conceive, I have six, every time I conceive, I will always pray over my stomach. I was always speaking to my stomach. I would always talk to them like they were like right here talking to me. And at the time, it sounded weird to some people, but I see the fruits of my labor. They're not perfect children, but they have a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Yeah.
my son. You met him earlier, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
I love his energy.
yes, he has a foundation. And we were talking one day. I said, "Man, I'm so proud of you." He's like, "We got it from you, Mama." I was like, "Huh?"
Oh.
But and that's true, I guess, because we're doing the same thing. He's more involved than I am, but
Mm-hmm.
we're doing the energy work. He's a vegan now. Went from eating everything to now vegan. And he was on one of my shows, told me that in addition to vegan and a vegetarian is we don't eat dairy, we don't eat eggs, we don't eat da 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 da. I'm like, I am so freaking impressed because I have to have some meat occasionally, and I do need some ice cream in my life, and I like eggs sometimes. Like, so I'm impressed. I really am, but I am honored to have you as a friend of mine, and you're doing energy work because what you do and what you offer to people is what EY Conversation Elevation is all about. It's what Pivot Radio with Eugenia Yvette is all about. It's about teaching individuals how to raise their vibrations. Tell us, why is that so important to you, Jessica?
On a selfish note,
Okay.
it is physically painful for me to be around people that don't want to see their stuff.
Okay.
So my career is a little bit selfish. I want to make the world a better place so that I feel more comfortable. But ultimately, my greatest reward is when I see my clients or somebody that I helped and they get the thing that they really wanted, or they get the money they were really wanting. It's amazing.
Rewarding.
Yeah, it's so to see that unlock happen, and then for them to actually receive the thing that they wanted as confirmation.
Awesome.
Sometimes when I work with people, they don't really understand the energy part. They'll do it and I can see they're doing it, but they don't really understand. But then when they receive that external thing, the love that they wanted, the improved health, the specific amount of money, or it's not always like the exact amount of money that they wanted, but maybe
the increase.
Yeah, increase. And at the very least, almost everybody has been paid back in some way by the universe for what they paid me. So I'm proud of that.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome. So how do people reach you? I mean, if people want to get in touch with you, I know you're doing certain things, right? But if people want to reach out to you, how can they reach you? Do you have a website or something, or some type of, okay, talk to us.
My website is fulfilledandabundant.com. And my email, if you want to send me an email, is creativelyjessica@gmail.com. And that's also my Instagram, creativelyjessica. I'm pretty horrible about social media.
That's what I am
sometimes, but but my email, I'll respond right away.
Okay, do me a favor.
Sure.
Say it again. One more time for the people in the back. Okay, say it again.
creativelyjessica@gmail.com. And
all right. You spell it? I know it sounds crazy.
No.
Spell it.
So creatively, CreativelyJessica, as on the screen, JESSICA @gmail.com.
All right. And so this is going also my radio show on Mondays. So give them your website again so they can hear it.
Okay. fulfilledandabundant.com. All one word. Fulfilled is FU. I have to write it down.
That's okay. Fulfilled, y'all. Look it up.
Yeah.
So just say it again, though. Fulfilled.com.
Fulfilledandabundant.com.
Is that and AND or the that?
No, and spelled out. All spelled out. Fulfilled, spelled out, and the word and abundant. And just one continuous word, no dots or periods or.
All right, fulfilledandabundant.com is the website, and that's how they can reach you, right?
Yep.
Well, Jessica, it's been an honor having you on my show today. I want to thank you for taking out time, and thank you for staying in touch. I mean, because it's been really an honor that you've been keeping me posted on what's going on and having the opportunity. You have a class coming up, right? You have a class?
Yes, I do. I haven't decided on the date yet, but the course it's an 8-week course, and it's for chakras and abundance. And so we'll do clearing, realigning, healing, bring in the right energy for each chakra to align your entire body with complete abundance and unlock some amazing powers.
Yeah, so you have a book out too, right? Or you have a book that you...
Not yet. Yeah, it's the course.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. So tell them again, you have a course coming up. You haven't decided yet. So tell them they keep up with you on the website and figure out when it's going to be, right?
Yes. Yeah, send me an email to find out the dates. And yeah, the course is called Chakras and Abundance, and it's all about realigning each chakra to complete abundance so that you experience it in your physical life.
That is awesome. I think for Bible readers, the scripture says that, God says, I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And my thing is, people are like, you always trying to do stuff. I say, yes, because if he can't help me may have life and have it more abundantly, then we have to be abundant in every area from our inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So with the chakras and the abundance, it's meaning more like you're teaching individuals and you're giving them the tools they need to be successful within, so it can show up on the outside, so they can live their best life right here on earth, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I want to thank you, Miss Jessica, for the opportunity. Give us again your website, give us again your email address, and then we're going to sign out, okay?
Okay. So my website is fulfilledandabundant.com, all spelled out, one word. And then my email is creativelyjessica@gmail.com.
Thank you so very much for being my guest here on Pivot Radio with your host, Eugenia Yvette, and also sharing with EY's Conversation for Elevation, Jessica. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Eugenia Yvette.